what is the meaning of responsible tourism, sir?
Responsible tourism meaning, it has different meanings for different categories that I've just spoken about.
Right.
For the traveler, it means that you don't leave any negative imprint behind. When you say negative, you must have often heard that when you go to a destination, leave it better than when you went there. But it's not only in terms of environment. We are not talking just about ecotourism. We're talking about responsible tourism.
Right.
So there is a negative impact on community. There is a negative impact on environment. There is a negative impact on local art, craft, or positive impact. I'm using the word negative, but it needs to be positive. So as far as the traveler is concerned, leave a destination better than when you went. And don't leave any negative impact behind, whether it is towards the environment or towards the community. So I think this is as far as the traveler is concerned.
Right.
Then as far as the service providers are concerned, hoteliers, travel agents, transporters, it's very clear that each one of us in our own segment have to work towards doing a positive, or can I just say, do not leave a negative carbon foot, do not leave a zero carbon footprint as far as possible. Now,
very well said.
The transporter has to ensure that they use the best and the most sustainable means of transport, the most environment-friendly means of transport. Number two, as far as the service provider is concerned, we have to make sure that we do not pollute the environment, we minimize the garbage, we do not follow practices as hoteliers which create a lot of pollutants, etc. Because tourism is the highest consumer of energy and resources as an industry, and it is also the highest producer of I think disposable garbage and pollution. Whether you talk of pollutants from the laundry, whether you talk of garbage from the kitchen, whether you talk of plastics from the banquets, whether you talk of any kind of, so our effort has to be to minimize it. Also, we use a lot of imported stuff. If we minimize it, we will be causing less. We will be leaving a lesser carbon footprint in terms of the cost involved, environmental cost involved in importing food stuff. So be local, buy local, etc. So this is as far as the service providers are concerned. But a third very important element, which did not feature earlier in the three pillars, is the duty of the government, I think, and the consumer. I think the government has to be very, very environment conscious in not allowing uncontrolled tourism or uncontrolled construction, or just for the sake of making extra money on the. One has to think in terms of the overall impact on environment. I think that is extremely important as far as governance is concerned, and we don't have to talk much about it. It's already been seen what's happening in Himachal and Uttarakhand.
Right.
Then comes the role of the consumer. In my opinion, there is a very, very, very thin line between comfort and luxury. If we go for comfort, I think we deserve comfort if we are able to pay for it. But when we go for luxury, sometimes it borders on greed, and it borders on the greed to consume and indulge in conspicuous consumption. It's like driving a Hummer or a Maruti, which Hummer gives you 5 kilometers to the liter, and Maruti gives you 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers to the liter. Now you have to choose where are you causing damage to the environment as a consumer.
Right.
So I think this is what responsible tourism is all about. The role of the traveler, the role of the service provider, the role of the government, and the role of the consumer.
Very well, in a nutshell, you explained the meaning of responsible tourism. And I urge every single audience who is listening to this podcast to actually imbibe what Mr. Rakesh Mathur is saying and do